the beginning of the story, we see 9 dragons pulling a magnificent chariot towards a hidden island. This island floats above the clouds in the sky, and it is believed that a very powerful weapon is hidden there. Whoever obtains it would become like a god, possessing the power to shatter both the heavens and the earth. Once every million years, a person appears who becomes powerful enough to achieve this. In the meantime, a swordsman named Lu Shang is given the task by his emperor to find the strongest warriors to travel to this island. To choose these warriors, Lu Shang organizes a test. He takes out a small jade ball from his pocket and declares that anyone who can snatch this jade ball from his hand will get the chance to go to the hidden island. Hearing this, many warriors step forward to try their luck, but Lu Shang is such an incredible swordsman that he can handle multiple warriors at once. Then, a particularly agile warrior named Zhu Kong steps forward, determined to claim the jade ball no matter what. However, just as he is about to catch it, the jade ball suddenly flies toward a nearby village, and all the warriors immediately start chasing it. Zhu Kong races toward the jade ball with all his speed, but just as he's about to catch it, another warrior attacks him. At that moment, Zhu Kong notices a cart about to crush a small child. Without hesitation, he leaps forward to save the child. Some warriors think he foolishly chose to save the child instead of focusing on the jade ball, but Zhu Kong had actually grabbed the jade ball before helping the child. Just then, another warrior named Yuki enters the fight. Yuki possesses a magical ring and bracelet that allow him to control his surroundings. Using his powers, he attacks Zhu Kong from behind, and while Zhu Kong cannot defend himself, Yuki snatches the jade ball from him. Lu Shang, the emperor's second son, has an elder brother named Luo, and they are both always competing to be the most powerful. They both prepare to head to the hidden island, but their father, Emperor Lu, gives the dragon sword to Luo, considering him more deserving. Meanwhile, Zhu Kong, unconscious, starts remembering his past. He was an orphan raised by a renowned blacksmith along with other orphans. The blacksmith saw potential in Zhu Kong and sent him to the city for martial arts training. This wasn't easy, as the master and the other orphans had to forge 1,000,000 swords to pay for Zhu Kong's training. As Zhu Kong lies wounded, his siblings come to his aid. They are determined to help him reach the hidden island no matter what. Elsewhere, warriors from different regions gather at a portal that would take them to the hidden island. Among them, we see a female warrior named Casey, who is accompanied by 4 guards. They activate the portal and all the warriors enter the hidden island. Zhu Kong's siblings watch the warriors go through from afar and quickly awaken him. Surprised to see them there, they tell him to sneak into the city to find a secret way to reach the portal so they can go to the hidden island together. Though Zhu Kong tries to dissuade them, his brother explains that they made 1,000,000 swords to teach him martial arts just so that Zhu Kong could obtain the great weapon. If he fails, all their efforts would have been in vain. They manage to sneak into the city, and Zhu Kong reaches the portal, but 2 guards deem him weak and tell him to leave. Just then, his siblings arrive and defeat the guards, activate the portal, and head toward the hidden island. Upon arrival, they are horrified to see corpses everywhere. They discover that the warriors who came before them fought amongst themselves to obtain the great weapon, and Luo had killed them all to get the weapon for himself. Luo tells Zhu Kong and the others to flee, but then attacks them from behind with his dragon sword, injuring Zhu Kong. When Luo makes a second attack, one of Zhu Kong's brothers steps in to save his life but is killed. In the chaos, Zhu Kong's sister hands him their master's green knife, urging him to flee. Just as Zhu Kong is about to escape, Luo attacks again, but suddenly their ally Lash arrives to help, telling Zhu Kong and the others to go while he fights Luo. A fierce battle ensues between Lash and Luo, with both using all their might. In the end, Lash manages to overpower Luo and takes the dragon's sword from him. Meanwhile, in a cave, Zhu Kong, grieving the loss of his brother, feels that all their efforts were in vain as they couldn't obtain the great weapon. As he clutches the green knife, he suddenly has a vision of a destroyed future world. His sister, Shou, explains that the green knife is unique and made from a rare stone that can reveal visions of the future. She tells him that if the weapon falls into the wrong hands, the outcome would be just as disastrous as he saw in his vision. Their master always saw something special in Zhu Kong, which is why Shou Shou firmly believes he can save the world. Then one of Zhu Kong's brothers, while exploring deeper into the cave, finds human-shaped stone statues. As soon as he touches one of the statues, it starts moving, revealing itself to be none other than Casey, who miraculously revives. Zhu Kong and the others, shocked and frightened, rush out of the cave. Outside, it begins to snow, and a dense fog covers everything. Suddenly, Yuki, the warrior, appears, shouting for them to run. At that moment, a terrifying monster appears before them. Zhu Kong and his siblings decide to confront the beast together. Zhu Kong climbs onto the monster and tells his siblings to move away. The monster releases a strange light that catches one of his brothers, freezing him into stone, just like the people they saw in the cave. The monster absorbs his brother's energy. Shou Shou then pulls out the green knife, which seems to frighten the monster. However, the creature throws her aside, and the knife lands by the edge. Zhu Kong grabs the green knife and charges at the monster but is also thrown away. Each of them tries to defeat the monster, but it's too powerful. Seeing his siblings die, Zhu Kong becomes furious, mustering all his strength to attack the monster and finally manages to kill it. After defeating the monster, all its power flowed into Sekong's body. Now only Sekong, Shou Shou, and one of his brothers were left alive. Meanwhile, Yuki was terrified and wanted to return to Earth, but the portal wouldn't allow them to go back. Shou Shou then said that if they wanted to return to Earth, they would have to obtain that special weapon. Just then, they heard strange sounds coming from nearby. It was Casey's 4 warriors, who had the power of invisibility. They captured Sekong and his companions, after which Casey appeared before them. Sekong tried to explain to Casey that she wouldn't be able to get the weapon alone, and for now they should work together. Hearing this, Casey ordered her guards not to kill Sekong and the others. Suddenly, more bizarre creatures appeared, and everyone started fleeing for their lives. Although Casey's guards had the power to become invisible, 2 of them were killed by the creatures. Casey then opened a door, but there was no path beyond it, just a round stone platform hanging over a chasm. At that moment, one of the creatures opened its chest and attacked, but Casey's guard created a shield to protect everyone. However, the force of the attack pushed them onto the round stone. The stone began to crumble, but Sekong, unwilling to lose his siblings, grabbed Shou Shou's hand, wrapped his energy around everyone, and teleported them to a safe location. Thanks to Sekong, they all survived, so Casey agreed to work with him. But she made it clear that the moment she saw the weapon, she would claim it for herself. They then entered a room where they found strange corpses wearing masks. Some thought that maybe one of these masks was the special weapon. However, as they moved closer, the room's atmosphere changed. Sekong tried to caution Casey, saying that it seemed too easy to reach the weapon and it shouldn't be that simple. Suddenly, one of Casey's guards attacked her, intending to claim the weapon for himself. But as soon as the guard touched the mask, the door of the room closed, and the mask started burning the guard until nothing but ashes remained. The ceiling then began to descend, and everyone panicked. Sekong noticed 5 strange circles on the floor and realized that if they each stood on a circle, the door would open. But if any one circle was left empty, the door would close again. Yuki used his powers to move the statues in the room onto each circle. However, they soon realized that there were only 4 statues, while 5 were needed to open the door. Yuki was ready to sacrifice himself for the others, but at the last moment, Sekong used his power to pull him back, saving his life. Once things calmed down, Shou Shou handed her green knife to Sekong, believing he was its rightful owner. Meanwhile, Casey used her powers to heal her wounds. They then reached a large closed door with 3 glowing symbols. Casey explained that beyond this door lay the weapon they were seeking, rumored to make its possessor immensely powerful. They tried their best to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. Just then, Lu Shang arrived and killed Casey's last remaining guard, causing one of the glowing symbols to dim. Lu Shang revealed that 3 sacrifices were needed to open the door, which is why he had let them escape earlier. He intended to use them as sacrifices to open the door, and he still needed 2 more. Lu Shang attacked, but at the last moment, Sekong intervened to protect Shou, Casey, and Yuki. Unfortunately, Lu Shang killed Sekong's last remaining brother, despite Sekong's best efforts to save him. Still, they needed 1 more sacrifice to open the door. Sekong then faced off against Lu Shang using the green knife. However, Lu Shang pulled out his dragon sword and struck Sekong multiple times, ultimately killing him. The door finally opened, and Shou, holding the green knife, immediately rushed inside. Outside, Yuki tried to stop Lu Shang, but he easily avoided Yuki and followed Shou inside. Just as Shou was about to destroy the weapon, Lu Shang attacked her with the dragon sword, throwing her out, and the door closed again. Inside, Lu Shang took the special weapon, which looked like a mask. As soon as he put it on, the mask covered his face completely, and something strange began to possess his body. Meanwhile, outside, several monsters appeared, and the door burst open. When Lu Shang emerged from the room, Casey was terrified, realizing that he was no longer Lu Shang but had transformed into the Demon King. The Demon King had fabricated the story of the great weapon to lure warriors there, intending to use their powers to resurrect himself. Now that the Demon King was back, nothing could stop him from destroying the world. Suddenly, the ground began to shake, and a massive earthquake struck. The Demon King planned to use his power to crash the floating island directly onto Earth, obliterating everything. Casey realized that the Demon King's full power hadn't returned yet, so she urged Yuki and Shou to protect her, as she would use her last strength to resurrect Sekong. Down below, Emperor Lu and all the warriors of the Holy Kingdom raised their swords to the sky, forming a shield. Meanwhile, on the island, Yuki created a shield of stones to keep the monsters at bay, using up his remaining power. In the end, Yuki sacrificed himself by blowing up the bridge in front of him. Meanwhile, Casey sacrificed her soul to bring Sekong back to life, hoping he could save the world from the Demon King. Sekong's heart began to beat again, but he awoke in a strange place, where a mysterious figure was waiting for him. The figure told Sekong that he must save the world, as it was not yet his time to die. When Sekong asked questions, the figure revealed that only a god could defeat the Demon King. Hearing this, Sekong was puzzled because no god had come to protect them in thousands of years. The figure then showed his face. It was Sekong himself from the future. The future Sekong explained that 1,000 years later, Sekong would become a god, and all the challenges he was facing now would give him immense strength. Suddenly, Sekong regained consciousness and first took Shou back to her home on Earth. Now he was even more powerful. Sekong then flew back to the hidden island, took his green knife, and began killing all the monsters, absorbing their powers into himself. The Demon King asked Sekong to join him, but Sekong refused. A fierce battle ensued, during which Sekong's green knife broke. They continued to fight, with the Demon King boasting that Sekong was just an ordinary human and could never defeat him, even in 100 lifetimes. The Demon King then pulled out a massive weapon and struck Sekong, sending him flying into the air. However, as Sekong soared, his strength increased even more. Using his power, he sent the Demon King 1,000 years into the future. In the future, the Demon King still attempted to conquer Earth, but by then, Sekong had become a god. With a mere snap of his fingers, he turned the Demon King into ashes. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.